Variables can store values of different data types. You just assigned an integer value. So simply we call it a number, a digit, yeah, numerical value. But the correct term, the jargon, is integer, which will probably be the correct mathematical term really, isn't it? So we just use an integer value. Let's call it a number. But if you want to represent some text, you need to assign a string. Strings are sequences of characters enclosed by single or double quotes. But you cannot start a string with a single quote and end with a double quote or vice versa. So it has to be the matching quotes on each end, yeah? So like double quotes on this top one, single on this one. Otherwise, if you just do like double on that side, single on that side, or vice versa, if they don't match, then it won't really recognize it, will cause an error. Okay, so these are just for the software, the code, to recognize that it's a string between these two symbols. Okay, double quotes or single quotes. Now, if okay, so now these strings, now how are these useful? What are these? What do we use these for? A string is basically whenever you can free type. So do you know when a website or an app on your phone, a game, whatever, let's say it asks for your name or username. If you wanted, you could just put gibberish into there and it would take it, because all it wants is a bunch of characters. You know, you could even put symbols in there as long as it accepts it. It just wants characters. So you can just free type whatever you want. That's a string. So like first name, surname, favourite meal, favourite celebrity. Just random things which you can type, which you can free type. That's what a string is. Now, what you can do with strings, you can do lots of things. Okay, let's start off with, it's a description. So you have a space where you can write a description of something. Let's say it's a car. So you can say, oh, it's this many years old, it's done this many miles, it's got great bodywork on it, great tyres. Now, some people could go into that and abuse it and write swear words in there, or other words which you don't want in there. With a string, what you could do is, you could make the software which you create, you could make the software assess that string. And let's say it's all gibberish, and then you've got a swear word in there. Okay. It would be able to go through and, a bit like a word search, find that sequence of letters. So let's say the word which you don't want in there is chips. It would search through the code, it would find the C. Is that followed by a H? Yes. Is it followed by an I? Yes. And it would keep going through. Is it followed by a P and an S? Yes. If this sequence is found, change them all to X's and it would censor it. Okay, so these are things that you can do. So although you're giving freedom to people to write and type whatever they want in a string, you still hold control over that. You can say no exclamation marks allowed, and it will find exclamation marks, and then it'll give a warning back to the user and say you can't submit what you've typed, so you can't save that and put that through. For example, in passwords, it'll say this password does not meet criteria. Maybe it's too long, maybe it's too short, whatever the rule is which you've created. Yeah, so these are where strings are used and some controls that you have over them. Okay. And yes, so a string is another data type, one of the ones that are used in Python. So delete your number variable and its value, then declare another variable called text and assign the string hello world. Okay, so we're changing it. It's now called text and it's now holding the value hello world. That's what it's holding now, and that is a string. Okay, so just a bunch of letters, and it's got the quotations on either side, and that denotes a string. So that variable now, variable text, holds this within it. So if I said to the system, write out text 16 times, it would write out hello world 16 times. Yeah, if I said write out variable text. Okay, so there we go.